need to know. I'm really good about having conversations with them, going over the numbers, and then I always follow up with an email because I throw so much info at them at once, they don't remember half of it. So then they have the email to go back to. But I try to educate them on how we qualify them. It's not a purchase price. People always say, "Well, what do I qualify? What purchase price do I qualify for?" I don't know. It's not about the purchase price. It's about that total payment, and that's what you should care about is a total payment. What are the what's the payment on this house? Well, what are the taxes? I don't know. Well, you're buying a house. Don't you want to know what the taxes are on it? I kind of stop them in their tracks and make them think, and they're like, "Holy crap! I didn't realize taxes were different. The last house I looked at, taxes were this."
Right.
Well, now you're looking into Hampton, and the taxes are twice as much. So, take the time, talk to these people. I feel bad that websites are allowed to put up these payments. It's big, bold numbers, and then in teeny tiny print, I'm sure it says principal and interest only, taxes and insurance still need to be added, but nobody sees that. We know that. So it's just important to talk to a good loan officer.
So what is the term, I think we went over it, but what does the term payment shock mean?
Payment shock. So say you're renting right now and your rent is $2,000 a month, and you find this house and it's awesome and you love it and it's everything you ever wanted, and the payment on it is $3,500 a month. We're kind of comparing those two numbers to see if there's payment shock. How much difference are you paying now versus what you're going to be paying on the new mortgage? At your current rent, have you been able to save money? Mm-hmm. Did you put away $20,000 while you're paying $2,000 or whatever your current rent is? If you weren't able to save money at your current rental amount, how are you going to afford a mortgage payment that's more? You saved nothing. That all factors into that payment shock, and it sometimes will factor into if we can get an approval or not. Sometimes if you haven't saved any money, that payment shock is going to prevent you from getting a mortgage approval.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So there's that, right? There's just so I've been renting, I've been paying $2,000 a month. Now I'm getting this house and it's going to be $3,500 a month, let's say. Yep. But it's not just that, right? It's like the thing where I get fearful for first-time home buyers and or people who haven't saved enough is now this is yours. It's different from renting. Yep. You are responsible if anything happens.
This is true.
That's my biggest concern for people that although they might qualify, let's say the payment shock, it's not an issue, but it's the money that you have saved to take care of literally anything that happens.
Yep. And I swear, any situation I could say I just talked to a client about it because I probably have 40 situations come up every week. So I was just talking with a client either yesterday or the day before. And we were going over some numbers. She's like, "Well, I can probably get a little bit more to put down." I'm like, "Well, what do you think?" And she's like, "Oh, $3,000 or $4,000 more." I'm like, "You know what? That's going to change your payment about $15 a month." I said, "Is it worth it not having that money sitting in reserve in case something goes wrong with your house?" Because you're responsible. I don't know, your faucet breaks, something simple. Even that's going to cost you a few $100s. Mm-hmm. You have to be prepared for that because you're instantly going to be a disaster.
Yes.
God forbid, the washing machine that came with the house, because the sellers knew it was a piece of crap, it breaks. Now you have no means to wash your clothes. So you're either buying a new washer or you're going down the street and using up your roll of quarters to wash your clothes. Yeah. Stuff comes up inevitably. No matter how great of a condition the house is in, stuff is going to come up. Just wear and tear. So absolutely. And I tell people that all the time. Like, please do not drain your bank account.
Right.
Do not put that extra $1,000 down to have the payment $5 more a month.
Yeah.
Save that money, put it over here, have it in reserve in case something goes wrong with the house. You're going to sleep better at night knowing that money's there.
Absolutely. So I have a question. If we call it a repair fund, how much would you recommend somebody has in a repair fund that's separate from any?
No less than $1,000.
No less than $1,000.
Yep, because you have no idea. Pipe breaks in your wall. Oh, thousands of dollars. So, now you're setting them up to go and get a Home Depot credit card.
Yes.
And start charging up debt that they're never going to get out of.
At a very high interest rate.
Because they've already maxed themselves out on their mortgage, so they can't pay any more than the minimum on it. And it's just this spiraling out of control thing that it worries the heck out of me.
Yeah, me too. This is and I've said it before, it might be controversial, but this is my biggest issue with Chaffa.
Yeah.
It's great that we can offer people a zero down payment option, but we have a situation now, like was explaining to you before,
Yeah.
they're getting like $95,000 in gifts because that's the only way they can qualify. They're getting the $25,000 time to own.
Yeah, I understand there's a need to have a house and there's a desire to have a house, and that's the American dream.
Right.
And I am absolutely all for that, but you have to be realistic.
Yes, you do.
You don't want to be foreclosed on in 6 months.
No, that would be.
Then
a
you have
disaster.
nowhere. Now your credit is ruined. Now you can't even get a rent.
You
'Cause now
lost
your
all that
credit-
money too.
You've lost your money. Yep.
That's a lot of money to
Yeah.
put down.
Your friends have given you gifts. Your family has just given you gift funds. That's all gone. So people have to be realistic. And, again, this is a slow market, and we're seeing more of these buyers because it's a slow market, because we all want business. The real estate agents want business, and we want business. So we are taking any business we can, where if it was busier out,
Right.
we wouldn't be pushing these buyers to buy something. We'd be like, oh, we're busy with these other buyers who are, a little bit more stable. So we have to do the right thing. Yes, this is our business and we're doing it to make a living and we have bills to
Right.
pay too. But at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, I want to be able to sleep at night
Absolutely.
and I want to know that I didn't set anybody up for failure.
Absolutely. I had one client the other day who's looking at, he pays his rent. Obviously, it's a pretty large apartment that he's living in, but he was looking to buy a condo, which is significantly smaller, would require him to put a substantial down payment. His payment would increase for such a smaller size. And I, like you, I would rather be honest. I said, you can qualify, but does this really make sense?
Yeah.
Is this something you want to rush into?
Yeah.
I understand the fear of prices going up in the future.
Yeah.
But you just have to be real with yourself now. Is this really what you want to take on?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure I've lost business because of the way I approach clients, and somebody else will pump them up and be like, yeah, you should absolutely buy something. And anybody gets caught up in excitement and you're like, yeah, I'm going to buy something, but I will not lead somebody down that path if I don't think that it's something that they can afford. And you're absolutely correct with these down payment assistance and low down payment programs. There's a time and a place for everything. Somebody who maybe just started a new job, they just got out of college and they just started a new job and their income is obviously going up significantly. Perfect program for somebody like that.
Yeah.
The person who has been, renting for the past however many years and again hasn't saved a penny, you got to rethink this. Something.
I agree completely.
Show you can save something. But again, we can't dictate every situation. We don't know everybody's situation. We're here to help people. Hopefully we can. Yeah.
It is what it is.
Correct. Yep.
What else can we talk about?
I don't know.
Cool.
Just don't swear.